calls for enforcement of laws to tackle depletion of fish stock in the country.
Hello, good evening. It's News Hour on GBC24 and GTV. My name is Shirley Annan.
And I am Alex Eddy. Now, scientific evidence, according to the Fisheries Commission, shows a depletion of fish stock within Ghana's fisheries waters. This is being attributed to overfishing and the use of unconventional fishing methods.
Fishermen across the country also point to weak enforcement and non-compliance with the current fisheries management laws and the lack of political will from government and politicians.
Although fishermen across the country benefited from subsidized premise fuel, outboard motor and other incentives for the industry, they believe that is not a solution to restore the dwindling fish stock. They explained there is no use for free fuel and outboard motors when there is no fish. What they expect is government commitment and political will to implement the national policy to manage the marine fishery sector. Some challenges and key issues the sector is confronted with include overfishing. This means too many vessels, boats or canoes exploiting the current resources which are already limited, sometimes through illegal means. Inadequate information on fisheries biology and stock and inadequate regulations and weak enforcement of existing regulations. There is also a low level of protection of marine biodiversity and inappropriate procedures in certifying fish for export. Representatives of fishermen from all the four coastal regions of Ghana, Volta, Greater Accra, Central and Western regions have expressed their frustrations and challenges. First, Chief Fisherman of Jelukopeyata in the Volta region, said Kede, and the woman fish processor, Ruby Adupo.
The thing that we are expecting for the Fishing Commission or Minister of Fisheries is to enforce the fishing law. It's very, very important. And now the SFMP, in the collaboration with Ghana National Economic Fisherman Council, we are doing a F2F compact, fisherman to fisherman. So that, I must say, that is helping us a lot. So we are going to educate our fellow fishermen one-on-one. If we do this, it's not good. If we do this, it's not good. I'm sure that will help us to improve.
We always realize that there is a light fishing and then using of carbad, omo and gari, a lot of those things. We heard that in other regions they are doing all those things. Those things are affecting us in the Volta region here. That is why, as a fish processor, sometimes we have to go to Togo and go and buy those cotton fish and come and smoke before sent to market. So those are the challenges we are facing now.
In all of this, the fishermen blame themselves for their misfortunes. Most of the illegalities in the industry being the use of light, the use of chemicals, unapproved nets and others are perpetrated by themselves. Elmina is one of the major fishing towns in the country. Like many of such communities, it is noted for some of the illegalities in the industry, especially the transshipment, popularly known as psycho business. They complain about some problems at the fish market.
China boat na wa say okay my to me na la tete yes can to petrol chedo ko no zi biba ni bi ya hom na e chen orukọ ezi epien wo so go to na enye bi ntin na ko na wa ya ade cha bi ye bi na ezi epien na wa say pono kra de to ko mfa bi mba nti ya ba sre ibi ala obabadu ya ba sre na mo ba ye boat so be for queen sabe bi mo ba ka da won ko wo ba ko me ye wa atan.
The acting president of the Ghana Inshore Canoe Owners Association, Nana Jojo Solomon, spoke about some of the challenges and the way forward.
Oil and gas find is also marginalizing us, on the sea. So I think that they should take a critical look now. Our research institutions, the universities, should take a critical look. Again, part of the problem is that out of desperation, we are also using, our fishermen have also adopted a lot of unorthodox methods of fishing, which is also very detrimental to, the marine ecosystem that we have now. So I think time has come that we need to unite our front as stakeholders.
At this year's International Fisheries Day, organized by the USAID, Sustainable Fisheries Management Plan, and the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen in Cape Coast, representatives of fishermen across the country committed themselves to rebuilding the fish stock. They symbolically signed a compact known as Fisherman to Fisherman, meaning they will educate themselves.
Central region for the warrior.
Section 42 Clause 1 of the Fisheries Act 2002, Act 625, mandates the Fisheries Commission to prepare management plans for the sector. The goal of the plan is to rebuild fish stocks to improve the socio-economic conditions of fishing communities, create employment and improve standards of fishing while enhancing food security. The fishermen say over the years, the politicians have paid lip service to the promises as not much is done about plans to stop overexploitation of fish stock. Kojoche Yamwa is from Friends of the Nation.
Some of the things include having social security and insurance for fisher folks, also ensuring that fisher folks have value addition, access to market and processing, improving of landing sites, and then even management of premix.
The fisheries sector contributes significantly to the socio-economic development of the country. According to the Fisheries Commission, it generates over $1 billion in revenue each year and accounts for at least 4.5% of Ghana's gross domestic product. It also provides livelihood for an estimated 10% of the population, representing about 2.5 million people who are directly and indirectly employed. Fish also constitutes 60% of the animal protein consumed in Ghana.
Now let's do some more stories. The infamous 3rd June 2015 rains did not only destroy lives, but also hit hard on the irrigation project at Weja near Accra. And to ensure that the affected farmers bounce back, government with technical support from the Food and Agriculture Organization is rehabilitating the Weja irrigation scheme to enable them to produce all year round.
About 205 vegetable farmers in the Weja farming community could only salvage 1/3 of what was left of their farms after the 3rd June 2015 flood. Most of them, after the disaster, are still counting their losses and are yet to recover from the shock. The Food and Agriculture Organization came in with both financial and technical support for farmers, including the rehabilitation of irrigation systems that have been damaged as a result. Work on the Weja irrigation scheme includes the construction of underground pipes and covering of canals to avoid perennial flooding of farms and prevent deposition of debris in the canals from the hills when it rains. A tour of the area indicates the heavy presence of encroachers who are hampering the smooth implementation of the project. Initially, 7,000 hectares of land was allotted for farming purposes, but now has been reduced to 25,500 hectares as a result of encroachment. Meeting farmers after an inspection of the facility by the FAO representative to Africa, Mr. Bukati Jan, said the sustainability of the project largely depends on how the farmers maintain the pipes.
So far from what I have seen today, an interaction with the agencies, colleagues from the MOPA and GIDA, and also farmers here, I can see a lot has been done. So this will continue. The dry season is a time when a lot can be done. So I hope that it will go on for the next few months so that farmers can get the best of the benefits or start getting the best of the benefit. But we are also concerned with the sustainability so that in many years to come, they will still be getting and using this.
The Ghana Irrigation Authority is implementing the project.
We would have a stakeholder meeting for those who are staying along the canals, and you and GIDA, you come together and dialogue in the case that
Right now that we are going to pipe the place, there will be distinct areas where vehicles can pass, and there are areas where vehicles cannot pass. So, what do? Those who are staying close there, and you, the farmers, you have to come together and agree that these are the designated areas where only vehicle can pass. Because the pipes will not be reinforced all over the place. So anybody who drives over it will break the pipes and you go back to square one.
The Wager Farming Association was grateful for the swift response of their plight, but had this to say.
The irrigation machines they brought us some time ago are not powerful enough for the irrigation of our farms. The dry season is usually a difficult time for us.
block hey komei ni chwa mo woba jami tomo 4 woba irrigate fence poe nu enyefa ni emoshipon ni chwa ke mita ma chwa ke machines ni wo here amehewale eda.
The farming community is one of the main suppliers of vegetables to Accra and beyond.
A concert of music was held in Accra last night. The construction of a lepers unit at the Kokofu Hospital in the Bekwai district of the Ashanti region. Speaking at the function, the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, said giving to the less fortunate in society is integral to the celebration of Christmas. She therefore called on all to use the season to make a positive contribution to the lives of those in need.
The Christ the King parish in Accra glittered with a concert of music. It was organized by the Lepers Aid Committee to raise funds to help complete and furnish the Kokofu Leprosy Unit in the Kokofu General Hospital in the Ashanti region. The funds are meant to also help acquire a van and a motorbike for the unit. The medical director of the Kokofu General Hospital, Dr. Anthony Akoto, hailed the initiative, which he said would help the hospital to carry out its original mandate of taking care of lepers.
It started in 1954 and the place belongs to them. They were robbed of the place, and now through Father and Lepers Aid, they are going to get a wonderful place. This is solely going to be a place for only lepers and its complications and new cases.
The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, said support for the Lepers project should continue even after the Christmas season.
I'd love us all to give throughout the year to this noble project so that by the end of the year, Father Campbell will be able to commission the Kokofu Leprosy Home.
On behalf of the Lepers Aid Committee, a group of people dedicated to helping lepers in the country, the parish priest at the Christ the King Catholic Church, Father Campbell, expressed gratitude to all who have contributed in diverse ways to bringing hope to lepers and cured lepers in Kokofu and other leprosaria, including those in Wager, in Kanchina and Ho. Theodora Medeto, GBC24, Accra.
The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, and other members of the commission joined the Aglo International at a special session to thank God for a successful election. Mrs. Osei urged all religious bodies to continue praying for the country and its leaders.
Aglo International has over the years been holding special prayer sessions for the nation. This year, most of their prayer topics focused on peaceful and successful elections and transition. Ghana, by God's grace, went through the elections successfully. The founder and president of Aglo International, Dr. Mrs. Dorothy Danso, said Ghana has once again demonstrated a sense of maturity in democracy.
Aglo International Ghana wish to thank and appreciate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for honoring our invitation.
Amen.
For the cooperation, may God richly bless you and keep you and lift His countenance on you.
Amen.
To the President-elect, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, may I take this opportunity on behalf of all Aglo ministry in Ghana to congratulate you and pray that God grant you wisdom and help to continue the work of your predecessor.
The chairman of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, and other members of the commission were also at the Thanksgiving service to show appreciation to God.
God had the prayers the women.
Amen.
And God gave us peace.
Amen.
God gave us successful election.
Amen.
We have a new president.
Amen.
And Ghana stands tall among the nations.
Amen.
We want to ask that please let the prayers continue.
Amen.
The Bible says that by strength shall no man prevail.
Yes. Amen.
So it is because of the mercies of the Lord that we are not consumed.
Amen.
Special guests at the session joined hands with the leadership of Aglo International to cut a tape symbolically heralding a new dawn for Ghana.
The rector of the Pentecost University College, Dr. Daniel Walker, has called on students to be peace ambassadors in every endeavor of life. He noted that the African continent needs an environment of peace in order to empower the younger generation to work hard to affect societal transformation. Dr. Walker was speaking at the 8th graduation and matriculation of the school in Soto.
Since its inception, the Pentecost University College has produced lots of very important personnel who in diverse ways are contributing to the development of the country. It was established in 1972 as a Bible college. It later transformed into a university in 2003. It aims at training students not only to be professionals but also God-fearing and faithful servants in all aspects of life. The school has a total population of about 3,000. It offers courses in nursing, information technology, communication studies, commerce, accounting, banking and finance, insurance and actuarial science, human resource management, among others. Over 600 students graduated with first class, second class upper and lower, as well as third class honors. Speaking at the 8th congregation of the institution, the rector of the Pentecost University College, Dr. Daniel Walker, noted that tertiary institutions must strive to inculcate the virtues of peace in their students.
When we have worked towards peace, it creates the environment for development and prosperity. However, in our part of the world, prosperity seems to elude us because of corruption, the darkness of greed, self-serving leadership, and disregard for the poor is huge. This must be the concern of all good citizens of Ghana and Africa as a whole. Africa will not be in a position to transform its societies if these negative attitudes are not checked.
Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Joseph Gatti Ampia, asked government to create policies and programs aimed at creating employment and entrepreneurial opportunities for the youth. The overall best students, Kranchi Pamela Priscilla and Adele Olusola Victor, who both took 7 awards respectively, attributed their successes to hard work and perseverance.
Seeking the kingdom of God alone, I believe, is not enough. But when we come to schools, we need to work hard. One thing I realized in life is when you identify your purpose earlier, you work harder. So when I was coming to Pentecost University College, I made up my mind that I need to go out with a first class. That was the purpose for which I came into this school.
Hard work usually pays off. You need to make sure that everything you do in life, you take it very seriously. Because if you put your heart in it, then definitely God will reward you.
In response to an appeal made on Ghana television on the 25th of October 2016, Passion for Needy, an NGO, has presented assorted food and medical items to the Nsawam male and female medium prisons. In addition to the medical supplies, the organization also presented cartons of tomato paste, soup, 200 bags of rice, gallons of vegetable oil and drinks to enable the prison inmates to also enjoy their Christmas. The Assistant Director of the Nsawam Prisons, Edmond Boy Odonko, received the items with gratitude. The chairperson of Passion for Needy, Mrs. Janet Togbo Ashka, encouraged other organizations and individuals to support the prisons. He said, Passion for Needy creates awareness about the needy and has since 2009 supported inmates of the Nsawam prisons and footed the medical bills of patients at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Ridge Hospital and Mana Mission Hospitals. We take a break here and return with some business news.
Now to some business news. The International Finance Corporation (IFC) and Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency (MECA), members of the World Bank Group, are supporting Ghana's Sankofa gas project with $517 million in debts and guarantees. The project is an integrated offshore oil and natural gas project to provide reliable, affordable energy for Ghana.
The Sankofa gas project will fuel up to 1,000 megawatts of power generation, helping Ghana meet its growing energy needs and displace oil-fired power generation with a clean-burning alternative. The $7.7 billion Sankofa project will be developed by Vital Ghana and Eni Ghana in partnership with the GNPC. IFC has so far committed a loan of $235 million to Vital Ghana and arranging another $65 million in debt from the Managed Co-Lending Portfolio Program, a loan syndications initiative that enables third-party investors to participate passively in IFC's senior loan portfolio. The IFC financing is part of a $1.35 billion loan facility provided by commercial banks, including HSBC, Societe Generale, ING, Standard Chartered Bank, and UCAV. Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MEGA, on the other hand, has committed these commercial lenders with up to $217 million in political risk guarantees. The government says the Sankofa project is one of two transformational projects to help the country achieve its COP21 commitments for climate mitigation. Once the project starts production of gas in early 2018, it will help reduce carbon emissions in Ghana by an estimated 1.6 million metric tons annually. Sankofa is expected to generate $2.3 billion in revenue for the government every year and provide a stable, long-term source of domestic gas that will solve Ghana's chronic gas supply constraints. According to key players in the project, it demonstrates that private capital can be mobilized on a large scale to contribute to the country's energy security. MEGA's guarantees will support Vital Ghana's commercial borrowing needs for the project and will be issued for up to 15 years against the risks of transfer restriction, including inconvertibility, breach of contract, expropriation, war, and civil disturbance. MEGA's political risk guarantee is a key part of the World Bank Group's long-term commitment to serve Ghana's rising demand for energy.
Now, African Development Bank Group (AFDB) has approved $71.8 million grant and a $3.1 million loan to the Mozambique government for the construction of an asphalted 70-kilometer road section to improve connectivity with Tanzania. The project is key for traders and road users who transport goods between Tanzania and Mozambique.
Will extend the paved road recently built in Tanzanian site, financed by an AFDB project approved in 2012. This phase approved today concerns a 70-kilometer road section which starts at Ningomano, located adjacent to the Ruvumana River, the natural frontier with Tanzania. The section ends in the locality of Roma. The project will open up the isolated part of the country, contributing to the economic growth and the eradication of poverty, as well as foster cross-border trade and reinforce regional integration. The road segment Muda Ningomano represents a missing link in the transport corridor between Mozambique and Tanzania. The bank will finance the paving of the road for phase 1. The improvement of the road will reduce from 3 to 1 hour the time to travel between the two localities. The first phase will be complemented by a second one planned to start in 2019, which will connect Roma to Muda and includes the construction of a one-stop border post.
Back home, Christmas is fast approaching, and as has been the norm, traders have positioned themselves to increase their sales, but a visit to the Makola market shows business is yet to pick up, and while some traders are planning to reduce prices to attract more customers, others say they will maintain prices.
Christmas is one of the seasons traders look forward to improve upon their turnovers, as a season characterized by merrymaking and gift sharing. Food items, drinks, clothing and shoes, among others, dominates the shopping list of customers. Christmas is just a week away, and though prices of goods have not seen any jump, traders at the Makola markets are complaining of low sales. Some attributed the fall in sales to the just ended elections.
Business is moving at a slow pace. We hope things will get better.
This year, for now, sales are down this year, but our expectations are high in the coming week.
Despite the complaints, some traders said patronage levels have been impressive.
For the election, it was a bit slow and things were not moving fast. But after the election, I can say things are moving faster than before.
Business is booming this year compared to last year.
Most of the traders are upbeat that things will change for the better as the festive occasion draws nigh, especially when salaried workers are paid from next week going.
Now, welcome back. Spectacular, stunning and breathtaking can best describe the many tourist attractions dotted across the country. Ghana is endowed with grand mountains, picturesque waterfalls and pristine beaches in all the 10 regions year-round. A visitor to Greater Accra has a choice of places of interest, typically for its natural or cultural value, historical significance, or built beauty. Today on my journey, we take you to the Shire Hills Resource Reserve. You may call it leisure or adventure, but this rock formation in the Shire Osudoku district is indeed impressive and worth a visit.
It covers an area of 51.4 kilometers squared. The Shire Hills Resource Reserve is one and the smallest of the first 6 protected wildlife areas under the supervision of the Ghana Forestry Commission. It is the Commission's duty to preserve the coastal savanna ecosystem or vegetational zone, commonly known as the Accra Plains, in its natural or near-natural state. 2 things of historical importance about the hills are that, during the post-independent era, the special bodyguards of Ghana's first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, lived here, and also the hills served as the quarry where rocks and chippings for the construction of the Tema Harbour were produced. Tourists are required to pay for their visit. A Ghanaian adult pays 20 Ghana cedis and a foreigner 40 Ghana cedis, and the price list goes on. Interestingly, my touring experience started before I even entered the reserve. We were intrigued by the monkeys on the shoulder of the road. There are 3 types of monkeys here: the olive baboon, green monkey, and the spot-nosed monkey. They are evenly distributed across the reserve, mostly in congress of about 60. The monkeys here are friendly, but tourists who wish to meet them and perhaps strike acquaintance must get to the reserve early, because when the sun is high, they hide up in the trees. Also in the reserve are antelopes. We could only watch them from a distance because, according to my tour guide, when they sense human presence, they go into hiding. Interestingly, they are not afraid of cars. Let me introduce you to one of the many historical hills here.
This is the Mogo Hill. History has it that this 3-layered hill was the training ground for all teenagers of the Shai people who passed their first menstrual cycle. They were brought here for the famous depot ride training. The training was usually between 3 to 6 months, and the purpose was to prepare them for their married life and adulthood as a woman.
An indication of the human presence here are these markings on the rocks. It is believed that the Shai women ground spice and the men used the slots for sharpening their hunting knives and weapons. To get to the top of this hill, one must first climb. Unlike the conventional hill or mountain climbing in most parts of the country, climbing the Mogo Hill is different. This experience adds to the hiking experience of the tourist, providing an adventure thrill. Once up here, the view of the reserve is breathtaking. This bird's eye view of the reserve and beyond is 84 meters above sea level. Another historic rock found here is the Depot Rock.
After the 3 months or 6 month periods training there, this site served as their graduation area. The day they will now pass them out, they bring them here to bath them with this water. And then the celebration now begins.
The biggest cave in this park is the Sayo Cave, or the Bats Cave. Because of its unique features, it was specially reserved for the chiefs and their wives. For instance, its natural security feature made it inaccessible to invaders, and these stones were strategically located to impede access. Also, no matter how hot the weather is outside, it is always cool inside the cave. This cave is unique. The formation of the rock is such that the space in it is divided into 2. To get to the second part, one must first go through this narrow path. History has it that this area was reserved for the second wife of a chief. Now it is home to bats, hence the name Bats Cave. Although we barely saw them due to poor visibility in the cave, we could hear them. Another feature which intrigues tourists here is the variety of trees. The vegetation here is generally a combination of open and wooded grassland.
We have a lot of trees. The one that we are also standing under this is also neem tree. This one is planted during the time when the place was a forest reserve before 1962. This one with the tongues is called Cyber Pentandra, locally called Kipok.
One thing that caught my attention were the inscriptions on the trees, obviously by some tourists, but this is what managers of the reserve said about it.
As you peel or you take off any knife and do that, it's like you are cutting a human being. Letters will come, a small water will come, and that means that you are wounding the plant. It takes a little time before it can recover, and new cells will be developed.
This park is endowed with different bird species. Though we couldn't see them at close range, we heard them chirping. One of the birds here is the black-bellied bustard. Another bird in the park is the ostrich. Currently, there are only 2 in the reserve. Though a day's trip to the reserve gives tourists an experience of a lifetime, it is impossible to tour the entire reserve in one day. With this, the park provides luxury tented camp services for couples and families who wish to have their fill of the site. According to one of my tour guides, the view of the park from here is mesmerizing as tourists are able to see some of the animals at close range, especially in the early hours of the day. The Shire Hills Resource Reserve is not without needs. For instance, the fence around the reserve has been unable to stand the test of time. The result is the intrusion of poachers who kill some of the animals, especially the antelope, which is delicacy for some. We came across this unlucky poacher. Also, some of the baboons find themselves on the shoulder of the road close to the reserve. According to statistics, every 2 months, on average, one is knocked down by a vehicle. Another problem that can put tourists off is that the route leading to some of the significant hills are not clear. For instance, to get to the Depot Rock, one must first go through this bush. Also, for many years now, not much has been added on to give a variety to tourists who return to the site. Despite the challenges and problems, the Shire Hills Resource Reserve is an interesting place to visit. Plans are far advanced to develop it in the near future, and the thrill from the adventure is definitely worth the trip. Michelin Taka, GBC24, Shire Hills.
Let's do some sports stories now. Liberty Professionals midfielder Lateef Blessing has been adjudged the best player for the 2015-2016 Ghana Premier League season. The winger beats stiff competition from Midiama midfielder Kwesi Donsu and Dreams FC's Abdul Bashiru to lift the most coveted award. Blessing also received an award for being the top scorer for the season with 17 goals.
The award ceremony took place at the State Banquet Hall in Accra. This year's event was under the distinguished patronage of two of Ghana's illustrious and highly respected citizens, His Excellency Major Retired Amakai Amate Few, the ex-PNDC Secretary for Youth and Sports, and Justice Enim Yeboah, a Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana who has extended his judicial prowess on various judicial bodies at both CAF and FIFA levels. Also present was the only boxing professor Azuma Nelson. The ceremony was to pat the back of players and teams, officials and other stakeholders for their role in making the just ended Premier League season a success. The cameraman of the season award went to Paul Agbenyega. Brekum Chelsea picked the Fair Play Award. The match commissioner of the season accolade went to Mr. Augustine Asante. Mr. Awa Mohammed won the referee of the season award. The assistant referee of the season was picked up by Haruna Bawa. The club of the season prize went to Wa All Stars for winning the league. Coach of Wa All Stars, Enos Adepa, won the coach of the season prize. The most promising player of the season tag went to Abdul Halidu of Interallies. Wa All Stars goalkeeper Richard Ofori was crowned the goalkeeper of the season. Accra Hearts of Oaks defender Inusa Musa won the defender of the season prize. The CEO of the season accolade went to Mr. Udru Nyakun of Wa All Stars. One of the highlights of the show was a special award presented to Mr. Wilbeck Yao Abrapia, the immediate past PLB chairman, joined the PLB in 1998 as vice and took over the chairmanship 2 years later till 2015. Liberty Professionals midfielder Lateef Blessing was presented with a Goal King prize after scoring 17 goals during the league season. He returned again and this time picked the biggest award on the night, the Player of the Season.
League Award 2016 Footballer of the Year, Lateef Blessing from Liberty Professionals. Ghana Premier League Footballer of the Year 2015-2016, Lateef Blessing.
Actions from some award winners.
Every young player wish to win award and then to be promoted. So I'm very excited for this day. I feel good.
I always saying that to the media. So far as them nominate me for this award, I know I'm going to take it.
I'm feeling very great, very, very great. I'm very happy for this moment, one way or the other, because what everybody says, a hard work pays. So I think hard work has paid by itself.
I had a very good season with Interlice, and I'm hoping more for the upcoming season.
Very elated, very happy, and pleased with the award.
You also walked away with an award for the Goal King of the season. Thank you very much.
Ghana Olympic Committee (GOC) have set the 15th of March 2017 for its elections. Meanwhile, the board has agreed on the 21st of February to 7th March 2017 to receive and close nomination for the elections.
The extraordinary Congress of the GOC took place at the Theodosia Okun Hockey Stadium conference room. It was to streamline the process involved in the registration and verification of candidates, the setting up of election commission, and the guidelines for the elections. Also, the Congress was to set up a disciplinary, grievance, and dispute resolution committee. After argument for and against, Congress approved the setting up of a 3-member elections commission. The members include the Managing Director of Graphic Communications Group, Mr. Kenneth Ashigbe, the President of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Lawyer Peter Zwenis, and the Lawyer of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Mr. Thaddeus Story. A 5-member board was appointed to manage the disciplinary, grievance, and dispute resolution committee. The first vice president of the GOC, Dr. Deborah Kubaji, called for a united front.
It is important for us, however we feel and whatever we do, we need to promote peace among us. But when we have hard feelings towards one another, it becomes a problem. So let us remember we are promoting peace, we are loving one another.
Some participants shared the experience.
What I want to assure all members of the GOC in Ghana is the fact that we would ensure that only the right thing is done. You know, when nominations should come in, when it should be published, we'll make sure we adhere to it. We will go by not only the letter of the guidelines and the constitution of the GOC, but also, most importantly, the spirit, to ensure that the will of the GOC would reflect in the people who are elected as to run the affairs of sports in Ghana.
We have agreed on a date for elections, and then we have set up guidelines for elections, and I'm sure that is what is going to guide us to have our successful Congress. And I'm going to say that this is going to be one of the best, first ever Congress held by the GOC.
Congress consists of 2 representatives, each from the Olympic sports and 1 each from non-Olympic sports and institutions.
The Big Hills Band is a group of young individuals making waves in the music industry. They have performed at a number of events in the country, especially the capital Accra. We'll bring you some of their performances.
This is the Big Hills Band. Tunes from the band are irresistible. The band is made up of young individuals who are dynamic and can combine different instruments to compose interesting tunes. With the ability to perform both local and international rhythms, the band hopes to become one of the visible bands in the country.